and welcome to the second episode of the Yarnniffler podcast. My name is Sam. I'm a university student from Belgium and I love to knit and crochet while I'm not studying or sometimes even during lessons or something like that. Welcome back if you're watching back. Hi if you're watching for the first time. I'm really excited to uh, make a second video. Thank you to everybody who watched the first time, even if you only watched the first couple of minutes because you're not really into knitting, but you know me. Thanks to everyone. And I forgot this last time, but I put it on screen. Let me say it now. You can find me on Raverly as Yarnniffler, and you can find me on Instagram as some Wyffels, but I also put it on the screen. All the other things I'll be talking about will be linked in the description box below. So you just click show more or the little arrow and everything will come up. I edited my last podcast really well. I think I won't edit it this much because I have a pretty busy week. So I'll just maybe put in a picture or the names of the pattern, but not everything. Everything you want to know will be down below. Okay, let's get started. First off, don't watch the end because it's not blocked, but this is my first finished object. This is Ursa by Jacqueline Cieslak. So as you can see, let me just, it's a cropped, boxy, oversized sweater, you could say. It's more for like overdresses, but I don't really have a dress with me here in Kortrijk. Where I'm studying, so I just paired it with this to show you because this weekend I will go home and I will wash and block it, so everything like that. But I really love it. I knitted this in a week last week while I was off from school because after exams we got a week of holiday, you could say, and I'm really happy. I knitted this in the Holscon's yellow, so let me show you the tag. And this is not focusing. Okay, I'll just read it to you. So it's 42% alpaca, 42% fine merino wool, and 60% polyamide. So it's like a blown yarn. So it's a tube of polyamide, and then the alpaca and merino are blown through it. The color is Elegance Black. I really love the color, and it's really soft and warm, but because it's cropped, it is not too warm, so you don't get overheated too fast. My second finished objects are my DK socks. Oh wait, let me backpedal. I knitted this the size 5. I used 9mm needles in the pattern. The suggested needle size is 6.5mm, but I needed 9mm. Excuse me, let me slow down. I needed 9mm needles to get gauge, and I used an 8mm needle to go around the top to cinch it in a bit. I think that is everything I needed to say about this. Yes, okay, let me go. This is my second finished object. These are my DK weight socks. I knitted them toe up on a 3.25mm needle. I used the Sockmatician's toe up recipe from Nathan Taylor of Sockmatician. I really like them. I did a couple of extra gusset stitches, but everything you want to know about that you will find on my Ravelry page. I will make sure that everything is updated. These are knit in the To The Max yarn DK sock yarn, so 80/20 merino nylon in the color Purple City. To The Max yarn cone you won't find anymore. They rebranded to Frankie Gray Fibers, so I'll make sure to link them down below. So yeah, now I've shown you them, I can wear them today. Then let's get into my whips. The first one is my grow shawl. So this is the fall call bag from Hoagie & Co. from 2020. And as you can see, it has grown a lot. I still have a lot of repurposed wool in here. But I will see when I'm done how much I have left and then try something else. I'll try to show the front. This is the front, so let me try to put it into screen. So yes, it's getting pretty big because I'm also using a thicker wool than suggested and a bigger needle size. So I'm knitting this on 6mm needles, and the suggested needle size is 5mm needles, but I think I got gauge, but we will see. I have enough wool to make it as big as needed. So on the bottom you have these plans. This is where I was last time, so where you see this stitch marker, these are a little pair of socks from one of the kids of the grocery girls. So this is where I was last time, so I've knitted this in the whole 2 weeks. Where you see this stitch marker, here we go again, this is a little shark um, from my advent calendar by the Woodshed. I will talk about that more a bit later. And then I'm at the top here, this is how much I knitted last night, and this is my little bear stitch marker from the from Montreal to Paris mystery knit along and holiday box. So I'm getting at the end. Of course, you're always decreasing, so it will only go faster. So I think next time I will definitely be ready. And as you can see, you have this amazing braid here. So what you do is like you drop down all your stitches and then you pick them up with a crochet needle. It's a crochet hook, not a needle, excuse me. It's really nice to do that. So let me put it away. I'm using the Julia from Zeeman in like a light gray color, so it's an 80-20, but it's 20% acrylic and 20% wool and 80% acrylic. Yeah, 80% acrylic and 20% wool. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's pretty much an acrylic band, but it's pretty soft and it's repurposed yarn, so I really like that. Then my next whip is in this amazing library bag. So I'm a pretty big reader. So when I saw this, I was in love with it. And then this summer I finally bit the bullet and bought it. It's from Bags by Awesome Granny. I will make sure to link the Etsy shop down below. And in here is Hearten. So Hearten is a pattern by Kim Hargraves. I'm knitting it in Holzgarn Super Soft in the color Ice, so it's like this light blue. Let me try to catch the lighting right. But it's a bit variegated because it's not really saturated. And I'm holding it double, so at the moment, oh, excuse me, give me a minute. I'm trying not to lose stitches here. I am knitting the sleeves, so everything is knit flat. Last time I showed you the two front panels and the back panel. So everything needs to be sewn up, but I'm knitting the sleeves in the round, so I just took one stitch less to knit it in the round to accommodate the seams, you could say, because I really like knitting in the round, and that's one less seem to make. I'm not that much farther, so as you can see, my stitch markers are both here. So this is what I knitted in like 2 days, you could say, on Monday and Tuesday last week, because I didn't really take it with me this week because I knitted this one completely. So last time on the podcast we were here, so this is much. That's as much as I've knitted. Let me try to show you the stitch markers. These are both from the grocery girls. So this is the shopping cart, but I don't from them, and then a sock tuck one and a little hedgehog to show my progress. But now that I finished this one, I will finish my crochet pretty soon, I think. So I'll try to finish the sleeves and then try to block everything and sew it up in the coming weeks. I'm knitting this on 3.75mm needles. That's one size up, I think, from the pattern, because otherwise I didn't get gauge and my hands would hurt too much. And let me just show you, because I don't have the fronts with me, how it's gonna look. So it's in this book from Kim Hargraves, and this is how the jacket will look. So it's going to be a cropped cardigan, which I think will be pretty nice. And because it's all super soft, it's 100% wool, non-superwash yarn, it will be pretty warm while not being too warm. Then next up, I'm started a little pair of shorty socks. So this is one of my sock bags. It's the Sock Talk one. This is you can see the same pattern from my stitch markers. This is also by the Grocery Girls because I've bought a couple of kits from them with a sock bag and a couple of stitch markers and then some wool. At the moment I am not that far. So this one is also toe up. As you can see, we have two toes. So 2 at a time with this will be 2.5 millimeter needles and 65 stitches. 65, no, 56, I'm sorry. 56 stitches, and I'll be using contrasting toes and cuffs, but the heel will be the same color. As you can see here, again, a stitch marker from the Grocery Girls, and then at the other side I have two. One to show you where I started yesterday, so on Monday from the week, and then so this is one from my advent calendar from the Woolshed, and then the little fox, yes, the fox from the holiday mystery box from Montreal to Paris from Les Garçons and Amy of La Bien-Aimée. What I'm using is, let me just look at the color. So this is the gray is Socks Mini, socks written with an X in the color 103, but I will be sure to link my Ravelry page, and if you go on there you will find the color for this. And then the contrasting of the variegated yarn is this one. Let me look for the tag in here. This is sock yarn Venus from Mayflower, and you can see you have 4 colors. So I've knitted 2 of them already, so this is the 3rd one, and I have the 4th one as well. This is just 75% wool and 25% nylon, and this is color 3 because there are only 4 colors. This is just something that I started to take with me to campus. So like yesterday we had our first day back at school at university, and we had a practical session, and we finished early, so we had like half an hour between classes. So then we just sat somewhere with a couple of friends and talked, and then I just knit a couple of rounds. Or maybe when I need to read something and I can't really concentrate on something, it's just something easy to work with. So I just only have 3 whips at the moment, that's all. Let me have a look. Then some like future knitting and started a whip. My oldest cousin turned 12, so that's pretty big. Like I'm the oldest, then you have my sister, and then Ella is next. So Ella, if you're watching, hi. I know she was really excited to see I started a YouTube channel. She's really into Harry Potter and definitely the Luna Lovegood character. So we gave her some Harry Potter stuff, and I will be knitting her a sweater. It will be let me just look at the name, the House Pride sweater from Meghan Regan from Bad Wolf Girls Sits and Knits. So let me try to put a picture here because I don't have the front page because she got it. So she got to choose what patterns to put on it. If you see on the picture, you have like 4 main sweaters, but you can like mix and match. Let me just show you the chart from afar. So as you can see, this is the chart. The only thing that we will change is this crown will be the Deathly Hallows symbol. So now I'm just making a gauge watch. I'm not that far at the moment, so this is where I am. So as you can see, this is the one of the symbols with a moon and the raven from Ravenclaw. So it will be the Ravenclaw sweater in this blue and yellow. I'm using Filcolana Arwetta Classic. It's a sock yarn because it's machine washable and pretty soft because she's not into the rustic wools like I am at the moment. I have these 2 colors. So I have color 200, which is called just yellow, and then it's a bit more brighter yellow than you see on screen. And then this blue, I really like this blue, is color 200 65 and it's called Azul. I'll make sure to write it down below if I haven't started a pattern page yet. Yeah, it's really soft yarn. It's the first time I'm knitting with it. I have it in my stash in a couple of other colors to make some colorwork socks, but I didn't start them yet, but I think it will be a nice sweater. And the nice thing is my cousin is smaller than me because she's also only 12, so I will be making the second size, which for myself I will be making a bigger size, so that will be going much faster than I will be knitting it for myself, and I'm always happy to knit something for someone else. And she is really happy with it and giddy to get a personalized Harry Potter pattern, you could say. Okay, let me see. Then acquisitions. I thought I wouldn't have anything to show you, but I got some yarn gifted, you could say. I went this weekend. I spent the weekend with my godfather. I will talk about that more in like the last section of the podcast about life if you're not that interested in it. But one of the first things we did when I arrived is went to the This and Dot in Henk. It's a knitting bar, you could say, so you can like eat and drink something there, more like a cafe, a restaurant slash that. But they also have yarn. So after we had a nice meal, he told me to just pick out some wool for a pattern for like my Christmas present, because we haven't seen each other for that. So I chose some wool for the Maya cardigan by Helen Magnussen. I will make sure to put a photo of the pattern here because I don't have it printed yet. But these are the 4 colors I chose. So you could say this will be the main color. Then this brown will be the edging for like the button bands and all of that. This white and this blue are then the 2 contrasting colors. So this blue looks more teal on the screen. It's more like a lighter baby blue. Let me try. No. If I hold it together with something else. No, it's more like a baby blue. It's not that teal in real life. Now I get why they try to explain colors. So yeah, I've got enough wool to make the Maya cardigan. This pattern, this wool is Anel. I think Anel is made in Belgium, if I'm right. And this is the Malmedy. So it's a 100% wool yarn. Let me try to show you the colors as well. This one is 2541. This one is 2505. The white one is 2543. And the other blue one is 2540. I'll make sure to link them down below as well if you're interested to see them. So that's one of the sweaters I hope to make again. The Maya cardigan is it's a bottom-up cardigan, but I've seen in a couple of other podcasts, like the Crea Bea one, and so Rebecca and Anina from Aniuti Knits, they are knitting one, but they converted to top down, so I'll probably do that as well, and that would be my first steeked cardigan. So what does that mean? Like, you knit it in the round because it's color work, so knitting in the round is easier than color work flat, and then at the end you cut it open at the middle, and then you make the button bands, all of that. So I'm not sure if I will start it immediately. I think I'll probably first make the Harry Potter sweater for my cousin to like really get the groove of an all over colorwork sweater, and then probably I'll try that one. But last time I showed you 2 other sweaters I wanted to start, so we will see what gets done. But I'm getting to the end of a couple of my projects, so I hope this year will be the year of sweaters and cardigans for me, or maybe some t-shirts or tops to make. So yeah, this is one to definitely help. So yeah. Hi guys, editing Sam here. So I've talked about my advent calendar or the stitch markers from it, but I haven't shown it yet. So my advent calendar, there's a pretty cool story about it. So I bought it from the Woolshed via Etsy, and I didn't get a shipping notification that it was in Belgium, that I needed to pay customs on it. So I didn't pay it, and it got sent back. It's still on the way back normally if I I looked at it earlier today. But luckily, the dyer, Liz, was really nice and had one advent calendar left in the sock yarn like I bought in the first place. So she sent them again, but it took a long time to get here because of Christmas presents and all of that. So it got here, or it got somewhere around like the 29th or the 30th of December. So when I got home the 31st to celebrate New Year's and all of that at home, it was there. So I've chose to open it every day, not during the weekends while I was studying and while I had exams. So it was really nice in the morning to open one. And then last week when I was at home because of my week off, I caked everything up and put it all in my journal. Let me have a look. Here it is. So I'll put in a picture as well. So, but I've made every day I put in to make sure to know what every day is. So you can see it was inspired by the Northern Lights. So yeah, there are a couple of colors that are not really my colors, but I still love them. I'm not completely sure what I want to make. Definitely a pair of 24 socks by Emma Potter of Potter and Bloom. Let me put the picture here, and then let me of course put the picture of my advent calendar here as well. So everything before caking up and then after I cake them up, I'll definitely make sure to link them. And now I've told you, last episode I have told you as well I would be talking about it later, and I forgot this time as well. So here it is, and here is the rest of the episode. Bye. That was all of the things I really wanted to show you. And then, like last time, I told you a bit about my knitting journey, my crochet journey, because it really started with crochet with the amigurumi. And I wanted to show you the rest of the things like I made in the following couple of years. So this would be from like 2015 to say 2018. So I would be like say between 13, 14 years and 16. And then after that, I think I could call myself a knitter and a crochet with a capital K and a capital C. So yeah, I'm really happy to show you them all. Let me see. First off, I've made a duck for one of my cousins. So I have a couple of them and they've got all one of my projects. Let me show you. So again, I have this book, Beestjeshaken. It's the same one I used for the fish, but now I've made this duck. I also try to put in a picture here so you will see a baby, but I'll blur out his face. And then a duck I've made for him. I also, almost 2 months later, my other cousin was born. And for her, I made an elephant. So this is the elephant. As well, here you will see a baby picture of her with her elephant. I'm really happy they still have them and they still love them. After that, I made my first cardigan. So the very first, like say, really object I made that was not crochet big, but it was like 3 strands of mohair held together. This bright red mohair, I'll put in a picture as well, but I don't have it anymore. I cut it up to use it as stuffing because it sheds like nobody's business. So if I wore my cardigan with whatever color it was, I was completely covered in red fluff. We put it in the freezer, we washed it, we tried many things, but nothing helped. And I know I paid a lot of money for the mohair, but it was itchy, it didn't really work, and the cardigan had a couple of mistakes. Now I'm just okay with it. I don't have it anymore. It's nothing for somebody else to use, so I've used it as some stuffing in a cushion, and it's better like that. Then let me see. Next up, what I made is a giraffe. So I know this is a black and white picture, so this is not that good. This is a giraffe. I just got this on like from a stand from like some like crochet and knitting needles, notions, all of that. They had that pattern for free, so I took it and then I make the giraffe for my other cousin Sana. Sana, if you're watching, he and his brother were really excited when they heard I had a yarn of not really a yarn or knitting podcast, but just like a YouTube channel. And then when they saw it was about knitting, they were a bit less excited, but still, I am one of the big cousins of them, and I'm really cool now. So if they're watching, hi guys. They probably won't watch all of it, but yeah. So I've got their consent to show a picture of them with their faces on it, him and his brother. And for his brother, I made a little owl. I crocheted them as well. So this is the owl. As you can see, this book has been well used. This is in the other book I used for my fox I showed you last time, and this is the Leukste Bosdierenhaken, so this is forest animals. So let me just put in the picture here. They were pretty little as well. You can see I was much younger as well then, but I'm really happy that they still have their amigurumis. They still love their animals. Sana also asked now for me to make a kangaroo and like some little guinea pigs. So this is one of the things I want to start as well. But I need to be home for that to like look through my stash what I can use, then go to him to make sure he gets the right colors, because he wants them to look like their guinea pig, so that will be cute as well. So watch out for that. Then like after I made that crochet things, I really wanted to get more into knitting, so I made a cowl with, in Belgium it's called the luie wevenstick, or you can translate that to the lazy wife stitch. So one of the things you do is like you do when you make one stitch, you do a couple of yarn overs um, to make your stitch bigger, and then on the next round you drop those yarn overs. But I don't know what happened with the cowl. It was like a brown, blue, yellow, and pink, I think, variegated one. I don't have a picture as well. It vanished, or it got eaten by our house. I don't know. But then next thing I made this cowl. This one is just long enough to wrap around twice. I won't do it now, but it's like, yeah, it's just a gray, black, and pink variegated one. It got still used. My mom lost her scarf, so she used it as well. So that's pretty handy. It's one that's at home. Like say if we're outside for a bonfire or something, I most of the time use this ones because I don't find it that bad if this one smells or something gets spilled on it. Then the next thing is again something crochet, and this is my poncho. I won't put it on now because I have on my sweater, but as you can see, I'm a bit big. I'm a little bit too big for it at the moment, but this is the same yarn I used for my very first baby hat that was too small. So this is two strands held together, one blue and one green. As you can see, let me just try to do this. There's a pretty distant line here. That's because I switched blue colors because the cone was up. It was one big cone that I got from my grandma to use, and it was done. So she had another color, luckily. So let me try to show you. So this is like more a tealy color because of this, and this is a lighter blue that's not that teal, but yeah, I still like it a lot. It's pretty soft now, I think, because I'm getting more used to some rustic yarns. Other people would probably think this is scratchy, but I don't really wear it a ton because it's like just too short for me. But maybe I will see if my cousin is interested in it, and otherwise I just keep it because it's a memory from one of the first things I made. So like you could say, after I finished the baby hat, I almost started this, but it took a long time before it got finished. But I'm still pretty proud about this, and this is the granny stitch in crochet. Next up, let me see. Yes. Then I made this gray cardigan. You'll probably recognize the wool. That's the same wool I'm using for the grow shawl. Yeah, I'm pointing downward because my grow shawl is there. So it's a really long cardigan. Let me just try to show. Like the sleeves are too long because they grew when I washed it. So most of the time I just cuff them, and then It's a really cozy cardigan as well. It's just a little bit tight around my shoulders sometimes, but I am used to it now because I am not the best of seamstress to sew things together, so it's a bit tight here. For the rest, it's really stretchy, and as you can see, you have like a repeating pattern of just some stockinette and garter and then even just some pearls. So yeah, I really like it. It was really for me something to learn to read a pattern, to uh, try to find the wool for it. Let me just try to find the pattern. So it's from this book from the Veritas, which is like um, a store in Belgium where you can buy uh, knitting needles, yarn, books, sewing supplies, all of that stuff, some other things as well. So this is everything in it. And if we look here, so it's called Ibn Vest met sjaalkraag. So it's called a cardigan with a shawl collar, as you can see. So I didn't use the recommended yarn because that was a bit too expensive at that moment for me. So I just used uh, a bit of cheap acrylic yarn from the Zeeman. At that moment in Zeeman, so this is the yarn label. It was $1.99. So yeah, that's really handy. And I've got a couple of balls over from the wool, and then that is what I used for my mom's crochet cardigan, which I now frogged and reused in my crochet. So that's the last thing I wanted to talk about today. I've made the, I think it's called kruispatroon. I'm not pretty sure anymore. I will try to look it up and put it on the screen. I will put a picture here. So I took a picture right before I frogged it. It's a pattern that I was really proud about, but it's pretty long. So when I was standing up and my mom as well, it came almost to our knees. But because it's crochet, it's a lot heavier than a knitted cardigan. But it was one of the first times I needed to sew on buttons and all of that. So I frogged it all to reuse it. As you can see, I have a lot left, so that's really nice. Yeah, that is really my journey, and from here on out, I almost always had a crochet or knitting project, mostly one at a time on my needles or on my hook. So yeah, that is when I could call myself a knitter or a crocheter with a capital K. I really love it, still do, as you can see. Um, then yes, I think that's all from like the crochet and knitting content. Next off is a bit of life stuff. So if you don't want to hear about my life, I completely understand, but I like to share and also like to hear it from other people. So thank you for watching. Uh, if you have anything to tell me about, maybe some comments or concerns, just drop me a message down below, leave me a comment. Uh, Subscribe to make sure to see the next one, and hopefully, I see you in 2 weeks. Bye. And for those of you who like to know a bit more about my life, I finished my exams. I passed 5 of 6 of them, so I have one that I need to retake, but I'm really happy because last time I only passed 2 of the 5, so it's a lot better. It's not that bad of a grade, so I'm just happy. I'm pretty happy these times. But before I got to get my grades, I went to get them at university. I first had my exam for my driver's license, and I also passed that. It was a bit iffy at sometimes. I made a pretty big mistake, but I know I did it. I probably won't do it ever again. So yeah, now I can drive on my by my own. So I just have to go to like the city hall to make sure to bring all the papers with me and get my driver's license. But it will be pretty good for us, like say how I get to Kot here in Kortrijk. So I live in Yper and I come to Kortrijk to study. It's about say 25 minutes by car, but we take the train, me and my sister, for 35 minutes, and then we just walk or take the bus to the house where we live. But sometimes they during the weekends they work uh, on the train rails, on the tracks, to to make sure that during the week everything is good. And then there are no trains, and you can take a bus, but it takes a lot longer because the bus has to stop at every station to pick up everybody because there's no train. And then it's always looking like if my parents or one of my friends who needs to get here can drive us, and now it will be pretty handy if I can drive us ourselves. In a couple of weeks we will go take a quiz with our family, so with my parents and my sister, and I will then drive us back. I have no problem with not drinking alcohol, um, and then drive us back, so that's pretty handy as well. We will go to a concert in a couple of weeks, and then I can drive. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty good. We will see, but it's pretty nice to be back, have new things to do, and to be sure I'm still doing the right thing, because last year when I got my grades back that weren't that good, you're not really sure if this is the right thing for you, but now it is. And we also had a session about our third year in our bachelor's. We need to choose out of 7 courses, and there are a couple of them that I'm really interested in. So yeah, I'm pretty good. Let me see what I wanted to talk about next. Yeah, if my friends and family are still watching, I'm happy to show that you're watching. I know most of them aren't really into knitting or into yarn, so they just watch to see me or to just in the beginning. So yeah, that's really nice of them. So anybody that's watching, hi, thank you for watching. Um, and then I talked about going to my godfather. So I'm not religious, but we still, yeah, I don't know if there is another word in English for it, because when you at birth here in Belgium, most of us get two godparents that can be both male or female. I've got one godmother and one godfather. My godfather lives pretty far from us. He's one of good friends of my father's, but yeah, I really like him as well. I haven't seen him a lot because of the pandemic and all of that, and studying is pretty bad. Oh, it's not pretty bad, but it's pretty hard to make sure to see him, and he doesn't live near us. So probably from those of you watching from America, this will be weird, but in Belgium, you can say he lives at the other side of the country. Ipper is pretty far to the left side of the country, and then Henk is to the right side, you could say. And I took the train. It was a 3.5 hours of traveling, so not that much, but it's a lot for us, definitely to do it all in one day. But yeah, I just took the train and then switched, and once I switched I had 2.5 more hours on the train. I just installed myself, took out my laptop, watched some podcast, and just knitted till I was there. It was really nice to see him and his family. We played a lot of board games, we went on a nice walk, went to a knitting cafe. It was just really nice. I think that is everything I wanted to talk about today. I will have to go as well because I have classes in half an hour, so this is perfectly. And then I will edit this, and normally you should see this. This will be published on Thursday. So yeah, uh, I hope to see you next time. I hope to show you a couple of more FOs, and that's all. Bye.